I would proudly say that I overcame, getting easily budled now. I was able to save for my emergency fund. I was able to save for my travel fund, all the while I was, enjoying my money. If your mindset is not in check, all the systems, the best systems in the world from the best gurus that you can find worldwide, it won't work for you if you can't solve your mindset. Investing in Nick is something that you should do for you and your family. Nick is not an expense, she's an investment. And this is something that I continue to share with my friends, with my family, like, hey, I invested in myself. And this is what happened. The generational trauma that I experienced, it stops with me. And I'm building a new one.
All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm so excited to bring in another amazing client of mine who is Sam in this video because you're going to be so inspired with her journey in how I've coached her on overcoming getting easily boodled with spending, which a lot of people can relate with. And now she has the confidence and self-trust in managing her money as a mom and business owner. And after my coaching program, she's been able to now balance saving consistently for her emergency fund, her travel fund, as well as treating herself and making big moves in her business. She's going to be sharing so many truth bombs in this video. So you're going to be so inspired. So without further ado, let me introduce Sam in the channel. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So Sam, paint us a picture where you started. So how was it handling your finances before you came to me for coaching, and how has it been different now?
All right. So I want to go back to the very start before being a freelancer, a business owner. I was actually in corporate. I was doing research and development in the food industry. It sounds prestigious, but it's not all glitz and glam. Pay was small. It's not that big compared to like how it sounds. And I wanted to reach a level of salary. And when I was thinking about it, I have to stay in corporate for 10 years and I have to climb the ladder and all of that. And going through that, I was also thinking of traffic. Like, oh my goodness, I don't want to experience this anymore. I don't want to spend my hours in traffic. I don't want to make the is in this corporate that I'm not happy in. And then I became a freelancer. And then I didn't realize that the money came pouring in fast. It was bigger than what I was getting in corporate. It was like times five, times six of what I was getting. And I had a lot to save because I was single and it's just easier for me. I was living in my parents' house, all of that. Fast forward to being a mom. It was pandemic and I became part of this group of moms in the pandemic times. And being a first time mom, it was so hard for me to navigate mom life. Like I was always in the hunt for stuff that would make things easier and faster for me. Like, okay, this stuff will make your kid talk faster. Okay, done. I'll get that. This will make your kid walk earlier. Okay, check out. I was like that. It was easy for me to like look for things that would make my life and my child's life easier. And again, it was the pandemic, so I was clueless into what I should be doing as a mom. And it was very easy for me to like buy things based on suggestions from other people. And so I found out that I wasn't saving enough or the same way I was when I was single. Like there are so many bills to pay now, and then I'm easily boodled. So the cost of Lazada and Shopee were, higher than it was. So I listened to gurus and experts on TikTok and Instagram and whatnot. And they told me about 70-20-10 method, the budgeting apps, and then deleting the shopping apps. And they didn't work for me, period. And then I found Nick. I didn't know how. I can't specifically remember how, but I'm glad I did. And I jumped the gun and joined her program. So my expectations were, okay, I'm just gonna get her system. She's gonna teach me her system. That's what she said in the promos about her program. That's what I'm gonna get. Okay. Then it was something deeper. We went so much deeper than just systems, than just financial systems. And I can say for sure the result of that, I was able to get to my goals. I'm not easily boodled anymore because that's not where my happiness lies. And the system, I got it. But it's so much deeper than that. So from being easily boodled, from doing budgeting apps, and deleting my shopping apps. By the way, I have my Shopee and Lazada still active right now because I love browsing and shopping. But I'm much more intentional now and much more responsible with my money. But I am happier.
Yes, I love that. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? That we feel intentional about our money and that we're happy at the end of the day. Right? So wait, let's cheers to that because we have our drinks because this
Yeah.
is a truth and drink. Clink clink. So tell us what you have there.
I have a green tea. It's from Japan.
Ew. We'll talk about that. I love green tea also. Bumili rin ako daming green tea sa Japan. Parang iba yung green tea nila doon.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then, kinuwento ko kay Sam, I have Berocca because kaka-recover ko lang from a sore throat at flu the other day. So, Berocca is the way to go. But yeah, going back, it's just if you are hearing this right now and you can relate with Sam's story na it's really different when we go through different phases in our life. Na parang okay, simula, especially when we're living with our parents, iba nga talaga siya versus when we move out and we take up different roles, especially with you as a mom. Even I myself was inspired by Sam because I know eventually when I become a mom, I'm like, those are the things that inevitably you go through. And all the more that we need to work on ourselves so that we can become that better role model to our family. And I love that you get to be that, to show to your family that this is what real happiness looks like and it doesn't entail shopping so much, getting influenced by so many people when you're so clear on what true happiness is for you. So I love, love, love that so much. So speaking of that whole journey, I remember you did come to me for that. You're like, oh, maybe I need to stop using credit cards. I need to save 50% of my income. And Sam came to me from that place because that's what she heard about. And so I love that you shared that it was way, 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 way deeper than that. And ultimately the inner work was what allowed her to break that shopping cycle. So looking back, how do you think, what are the ways that our coaching together really helped you overcome and break that cycle for good?
First of all, like the program of Nick was well thought of. It's greatly structured in the sense of she's not just gonna throw you a bunch of systems and financial hacks and all of that. No. If that's like what you're looking for, look away because it's something deeper. I keep on saying that it's something deeper because it is. We're able to unroot a lot of things. So the way Nick works, her program works, is that she focuses on mindset. So that for me was key. I can get all of the budgeting apps, all of the financial hacks, and all of the systems in the world. But if I didn't get my mindset right, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be using that system consistently if I wasn't able to take hold of my mindset. And every single session that we had, she held me accountable for it. Like, this is what we talked about. I felt no pressure from her if I suddenly, have a change of mind, or I suddenly have this fear that's holding me back from doing what we talked about. And she was there to hold my hand and to remember, okay, this is what we did in coaching. And remember, this is what you told me. And I think that once I got my mindset in check, the persona of being easily boodled was gone. I don't want to say it's magic. It's not woo thing. It's not a woo thing. It's just that there was a proper way to go about it. And Nick nailed that for me. So that coaching, it's not surface level. It goes much, much deeper. So I would proudly say that I overcame, getting easily boodled now.
Yes. I love that you shared before na I'm unboodled now. I love unboodled. Yes. And to give further context, it's like I think how Sam explained it is so good in the way that if the mindset is not there, any kind of system would not work. Any kind of whatever set up with your finances would not work if your mindset is not in a healthy place. And so because I mean I've been through it myself, that's why like I was like we need to go deeper. Like it's not just like the surface level. You said like it's not about the 70-20-10 method. It's not about like unsubscribing to apps and things like that. It was really understanding that the habits we form are deeply stemmed from the subconscious beliefs we have about ourselves that were deeply conditioned from our childhood. And so those are the things that we really uprooted, brought up to the surface. And that's what Sam meant, that it was really going through a lot of digging deeper in terms of where did that come from? Where did those beliefs come from that would allow you to just give in to the things that don't serve you, give in to the things that you think would make you happy? And only when we were able to uproot those beliefs, only then parang nagkaroon ng switch sa mind ni Sana, parang, wait a minute. That's why I was acting that way. And now I know I can shift my mind towards that's something that's gonna serve me so much better now. And that's why Sam also shared that now she has that self-trust in her, that self-confidence that she knows how to manage her money. And I believe that's the most sustainable way of managing our money, when we can trust ourselves, not rely on someone else to like hold our credit card for us or tell us na don't buy that, control yourself. So I want to dive a little bit deeper around that. Like, now that you have developed the right mindset and systems around your money during the program, how do you think that has impacted your business as a business owner and your family life as a mom?
So it's fun doing this program with Nick because she's not strict about, hey, you should be saving this, you should be saving this much. You don't get to enjoy your money because you have to save this. No, it's not like that. She gives you the freedom to like write what you want, what you truly want, what would make you really happy. It's very easy to like be frank and free with Nick because she's very welcoming. She's not like, no, that's the wrong thing. This is the right way. You have to do this. No, she doesn't do that, which I'm truly grateful for because I found that I put shame on myself when I was, doing those budgeting apps. Every time that I put on an expense, I was like, oh my goodness, why did I buy this? Why did I do this? Like, okay, I'm not gonna eat for this day. I'm just gonna stick to whatever is at home, even though I really want to eat out or something like that. Or I will save this so that I can spend on my daughter. I would put myself on a low priority and save this money for my daughter. But I realized that there's a balance to everything. And when I wrote down all my goals, it includes myself, my marriage, my daughter, or family as a whole, even extended to my relatives. It was so fun. And I remember one session when we were doing this, I keep on writing about my family. And then Nick took notice of that. And she was like, how about you? What do you want for yourself? What's the goal that would make you happy? And I was like, that's interesting because I keep on talking about family. Even Nick knows that our insurance, we have to have that as a family, not just myself. So she knows all about that and she took notice of me. And then that's one of the things we also unrooted about, self-worth, about self-respect. And that's definitely not one of the things that I was thinking of before I joined her program. So goals, I want to talk about that. One of my big goals is to travel. Again, I'm a pandemic mom. So I was holed up inside their home for the last 3-4 years. And one of the things that we really wanted to do was travel. So Nick helped me create a system wherein I was able to save for a travel. And we talked about, okay, where do you want to go next year? Okay, this is when you can go. You will have this fund and then you can go here. Okay, perfect. And I was like, okay, that's fun. That's the first step to traveling. And then we talked more and she showed me another system wherein she's like, okay, where do you want to go next? And I was like, I was stumped for a little bit because I thought that when I will travel the first time again after how many years, that's it. But no, she extended my thought process of like, you have to think about what's next. It's not going to stop with the first travel. We were even talking about just local and then we went abroad. So my first plan was to go to Hong Kong with my family. So we set that plan for 2024. And then again, when she showed that system, we went further. For 2025, we planned to go to Japan. And then we started the system, right? So I was able to continue saving. So I was able to save for my emergency fund. I was able to save for my travel fund, all the while I was, enjoying my money. But then something presented itself to me. So now I have my travel fund, right? And an opportunity presented itself to me, to our family. We are now going to Japan for 2024. So the plans for 2025, it was shifted to 2024. With this opportunity, the travel fund is already secured. So travel is a big thing for our family. It's going to be the first for my daughter. It's going to be a first time travel for me and my family. And we're truly excited for that. So that's one of the goals, the travel goal. And then another is that for myself, is that I would do high maintenance things to look low maintenance. So I was able to do that. Just a small cuento. A few weeks back, we had a family Christmas shoot. And, as a mom, there's like so many things to think about. Clothes, preparing your child, all of the things that we have to carry on. And then also I thought, oh my God, what am I going to look like when we have the photos? I don't want to look haggard and all of that, taking care of my family. So I told Nick about this. Like, I thought about getting a hair and makeup artist so that I will be, look presentable. But then I thought about the timing and that it's not possible because I also have to take care of my family while looking like that while I'm being prepped. So for context pala, I don't have any helper. I don't have any yaya. It's just me and my husband taking care of our daughter who is 3 years old. And so with that kwento, with that realization, with what I want, doing high maintenance things to look low maintenance, I jumped the gun and thought, okay, what is most value to me? So I had my hair done in a salon, and then I had my lashes fixed, and then I did this months ago, but I had my lip tattoo already, which is one of my beauty goals as well. And then I decided that I would just do my makeup, do what I can, and then that's it, like best effort. And then when I look in the mirror, like, oh my gosh, this is great because I didn't have to do a lot of things already. My hair is already fixed. My kilay is pakak. My lips is pakak. I just need a small lipstick, and then my lashes are also pakak. So that day, I was like so thankful and grateful. I'm so proud of myself that I was able to think ahead. I was able to also get value for my money. Like my hair is gonna be pakak for like 6 months. I spent like 6,000 for my hair, and then my lashes it was like 1,000, and then my lips it was done months ago. It was like 10,000 for my lip tattoo, which will last me years. But then when I was checking, makeup artists, the fee was like 8 to 10,000 just for one day. What brought about Nik's coaching is that I was able to see my money's worth. I wasn't pressured into doing it, into saving. It's just that this is my goal. So all in all, I was able to reach those goals already. Having a travel fund and, getting ready for Japan and then doing low maintenance things to look high maintenance.
Yes. And I think the recurring theme that came out of you achieving your goals are two things, like having balance and knowing your worth. And if I were to connect also is that when you really understood and really embrace your self-worth, that's where you saw your money's worth too.
Yes.
And that's why I believe like our perception about ourselves really bleeds into how we spend. Like if we don't think we're not worthy of experiences, not worthy of the good things in life, we're gonna settle for small things with our money, And that's why Budol shopping happens. It's because we don't see our real worth and we don't get to use our money for what it's truly worth, which is for our real happiness. And that's what I've seen in your journey is that when you really were able to get back into knowing what your worth is, that's when you were able to make these kinds of smart, wise money decisions for yourself, knowing that this may look like a huge amount for other people, but it's my goal. It's my goal as a mom. It's my goal for me to take care of myself and at the same time not compromise my savings goals. And that's what you did, which then goes hand in hand with the balance, right? That you were able to balance like enjoying your money every month, enjoying treating yourself, taking care of yourself without thinking about, do I have to touch my savings? Am I going to compromise my emergency fund? You were able to do both. You were able to balance taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, and at the same time, be prepared for your future goals as well. And I just love that you were able to really see that balance in real life situations because that's what our money, our finances should be for, is that we get to see that we are balanced with enjoying our life, but at the same time, we're also ready for the future things, whatever it may throw upon us, which I think is a good transition to talking about as a business owner that we are going to, experience things that we realize are no longer aligned in the things that we want to do for our business. So tell us about this huge win. I would say it's a really huge win when you had finally the courage to let go of a client that's no longer aligned in where you want your business to go. So what do you think were the tools or mindset shifts that allowed you to prepare for you to make that move and let go of this client?
So a little bit of context for everyone who is watching. And also, I think at this season of, being November, it's almost Christmas soon. A lot of clients, if you're a freelancer or business owner, a lot of clients some of them will pause your contract. Some of them will let go of you because of the season. I think for me, it's very seasonal. And I think it's just part of it. It's just part of, the business. So I came in with Nik. Of course, she asked about my finances, what are my incomes and where I get it. And one of them is this client. It's a part-time client. And I keep, and every coaching session that we have, I think I keep on ranting about it with Nick because it's part time, but it's highly stressful for me. And one of the reasons that I can't let go of it is because of the rate, or so I think. So Nick and I were able to, again, unroot another root by root. She was able to help me unroot it. And I was able to know, like, why I can't let go of this client. And then after coaching with Nick, I still had this client. And then, well, before our coaching call, but during our entire coaching call, Nick was telling me that this client isn't serving you anymore. This is what's happening. This is why you can't let go of this client. And if you do let go, these are the possibilities. Like, I know that I have that in mind. But after coaching with Nick, I was like telling myself, okay, I'm just gonna keep this client for until 2023, and then I'm gonna let go. And then, circumstances have changed. I told Nick about this. Like, what they did was they got a local full-time person admin. And then what my manager did was cut off tasks from me. She left me some tasks, but she cut off the majority of my tasks. And then when I looked at the numbers, like, it doesn't make sense to stay. So I let go of this client without having a backup. Like, I know that seems bad, but I think I'm in a transition in my life wherein I look at our finances. Like, of course, it's not going to be the same as the other months, but this is why I have my emergency fund. Like, this is why we have this system ready with Nick. Even though we would be in crutches, it won't be like I'm going to be desperate for work and ask this client, okay, can you give back my work because I really need my finances? No, it's not that. Like, the moment that I let go of this client, it was like a sigh of relief. Like, I have this imaginary shackle that I didn't know that was finally free. I felt free. And when I look at my bank account, of course, again, it's not going to be the same as the other months, but I felt happy. I felt truly happy. And I remember in our check-in call, I was like telling Nick, oh my gosh, Nick, I avoided this check-in call for as long as I can because I have not let go of this client like we talked about. No, she wasn't pressuring me into doing that whatsoever. It's just there was she knows that it was the right move for me and my career. But I had this image in my head wherein I'm gonna create my own timing. But then, things happened and I lost this client the first week of November. Well, not I lost her, I removed her from my client roster. And what happened was, again, I felt free. And then during our check-in call, like, I think that was the first news that I dropped on Nick. Like, okay, I'm not working with this client anymore. And here's what I found. Like, from the start, when we were talking about this client, about her not fitting in with me, I knew that she was right. Like, hindsight is 2020, and everything that she said, like, it was true. Like, the moment that I dropped this client, opportunities opened up for me with my business. I had like referrals, I have interest in my services, and I was like, oh my goodness, I just needed to let go. I just needed to close this door, this chapter, and then something bigger, like a bigger door, double door, opened up for me. It was there, it was present for me. So, about you asking about, the tools and the mindset shifts, I think it's really all about unrooting why I can't let go of this client and like solidifying my self-worth, my self-acceptance. Like, that's just a client. You shouldn't, gravel for this client who you're not even that special to them the way they are special to you. When that snapped into my mind, I was ready to let this client go. And the time that I did, it was a breath of fresh air. Like, I know for myself that I'm not going back to that kind of client anymore. I know now what I want. I know now what I deserve. And I'm going to get that.
Yes, 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 100%. And, hearing that from you, it's just nice to see the progress, because Sam, tell them how many years you worked for this client.
I worked with this client for 5 years.
5 years. 5 years, and I get that wasn't an easy thing to do. And so it made sense for Sam to really see what is the right timing to do it. Like, at least she knew. I could tell it was gonna be a process for her to do it her way. As Sam said, I didn't want to pressure her because that would defeat the purpose of like knowing why she's gonna do it, you know. And only when she really processed that her own way, it was after our coaching call na, and then we did our check-in call. That's when it clicked for her, and she finally let it go. And I felt like it was the right timing because she really needed to see all of the things that were holding her back when she kept holding on to this client that was no longer serving her. And it reminds me also of my experience like with my corporate career. I was there for 6 years, so I get it. It's kind of similar. Na parang you're like, but then you know, like you've given your time, your effort, you know, na you're like this, you're worth this, and then all of a sudden you're just gonna let it go. And then that's the thing. It's like when you know your worth, when you know your goals, when you know you have this vision for your life, all of a sudden you know what to let go of. And when you let go of those things, all of a sudden you make room for the things that are much, much, much more aligned to what is the real version of freedom for you, what is the real happiness, how it looks like for you. And so I'm just so proud when Sam told me about that, because I was like, I was just waiting for you to tell me, you know? And because I was like, you know, I think she's gonna tell me one day, and I'm just gonna wait for her, and then she's gonna be so proud of herself. And that's why I'm just so proud of you that you get to now share this to the world, that, you know, as business owners, it's so easy for us to just sign a client for the sake of the money. And I think that was the huge shift in you, was that because you have the right mindset now, because you prepared your system for this season in life, you became firm with your decision. You stood by your decision at your own timing. And I remember, like, you did say that na this is why I built my emergency fund. This is what it's for. And sometimes we forget, you know, we forget like our savings are just there. But then we need to remember, like, we want to be in control of our money instead of money being in control of us. And I think that what you just did is a clear example that you are now in control of where your money goes and how you're going to earn that money as well. And I think it's going to be such an inspiration for so many freelancers that when they have the right mindset, when they have the right system around money, they get to attract the right opportunities, and they're going to be much more happier and get the things that they really deserve. So, with that, let's talk about misconceptions you've probably debunked in the process of your journey, because there were a lot for sure. So, tell us about like what do you think were those misconceptions around money that you wish you knew earlier, may it be as a mom or as a freelancer, as a business owner?
So I have a lot of misconceptions, but the top three for me, especially that I think it would relate to moms as well. First misconception is you can't spend for yourself. It should be all about family, 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 family. It should be about all of them, what makes them happy, etc. No, that's not true. You can spend yourself. You can balance everything, and you can definitely spend on what you want. That would really make you happy. I would just like to share also when there was a journey, like a point in my life wherein, oh my gosh, I deserve something. So I went into this rabbit hole, and of course, Nick knows about this. Is that I went into a jewelry addiction at one point in my life. Well, for this year, it wasn't that long. And again, I believe in timing. And the timing of that is I was able to be in a coaching with Nick. And I was just, being in that rut for 1 to 2 months. And then when I put this forward with Nick, again, I had shame for myself about this, but it is something that I know that I need to be addressed. So I put that forward with Nick, like, Nick, I have this problem. I keep on buying these jewelries, but then when I get them, I'm not really happy. So one aspect is that I did spend for myself, but I wasn't happy. And again, Nick was able to uncover why I wasn't. And that when that clicked for me, again, when that mindset shift happened, I no longer did it. I didn't have to unfollow the accounts. I didn't have to avoid looking at jewelries. No. It's just that I have zero desire to buy it. Like, that's how powerful mindset is for me. And I know that it's not gonna happen if I just do a visualization or a manifesting session or whatever. No. It's all about conversation with someone who knows, who has been there, who is Nick, of course. And again, it's not just some like a woo stuff. Like, we were able to really talk about it. And I was able to ask myself, okay, why am I doing this? Why do I keep on circling back to this? Because what happened to me was in the first few weeks of buying jewelries is that when I get the jewelries, okay, I'm not happy. Okay, I'm gonna stop this. But then when I see those accounts again, when I see jewelries again, oh, I like this. I will buy this. I deserve this. And then, the cycle that I was in. I know it's not that long. It was just a few months, 1 to 2 months. But then I was able to stop it that early. I wasn't, in too deep into that for us to resolve. But when we did, it was such a sigh of relief. I was able to put more funds into my emergency fund, my travel fund, and all of my happy fund. And I wasn't even in a place of debt at the time. It's all because we were able to address it. So again, you can spend for yourself, but you have to like spend for yourself wherein you would be truly happy. Another misconception that I think would apply to moms is that in connection about spending yourself is that you only need to save, 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 and you can enjoy your money. I was in that place of I need to save more, I need to save more and more. And then I go back to being easily budol. But then my thought process is that no, I'm saving for my family. So I can buy this because it's for my family. But then I'm not really enjoying the money that I have. So the last misconception that happened to me is that you need a big income to enjoy your money. That's not true. That's what I got from Nick with the system that she shared with me. Is that even though, of course, as a freelancer, your income isn't steady. It goes up and down depending on the season. And what was true for me is that even though my income changed, again, when I lost a big client, the income isn't the same as it was months ago. But then I'm still able to save because I'm implementing the system that Nick and I created. And again, it's not a one size fits all. That's why you need to work with Nick to get your own system that would work for you. Because even though there's a lot of gurus who taught a lot of people about a system that they created, it's not going to work if it's not for you.
Yes, you said it so well. You said it's like you tied everything together. You like summed up all of like my key concepts on the importance of first, as you said, like the mindset around understanding the root cause of what made you keep going back to that cycle. Because it's my analogy there is like it's like a tree. It's like all we do is cutting branches, but then it's just gonna keep growing back if we don't understand the root and cut it from the root. And that's what we really did through our sessions. Is you know I challenged Sam a lot. There were a lot of uncomfortable questions that I asked her, and she needed that. She needed to really understand where it's coming from so that she's aware of it. And when she's aware of it, she's like, oh, wait, that's not who I am. Like, that's not what I value. That's not where my happiness really is. And that's why, in like technically 8 sessions, so that's like 2 months, 2 months of working together. After that, she's like, I have zero desire. Like, I used to watch the live shopping, whatever, at the shower. Sabi mo dati, diba? And now you're like, I can watch it, but then I'm not gonna be budol-ed anymore. And that's just the power when you understand the root and solved it from the root. It can still be there, but it's just like background noise. It doesn't have to be the thing that riles you up or that consumes you anymore. And second is having a tailor fit system to you. And that's why I wanted to bring you in as well, is because as a mom, you have so many responsibilities. I always admire my clients who are moms because that is something that I'm like, one day I am gonna fully understand, and you juggle so many responsibilities that it can't be just like, oh, 70% goes to this, 20% goes to this. It can't be like that because there will be different seasons and different roles that you're going to fill. Like, as you said, especially now in your business, letting go of that client, you still have the confidence of like, I can still stick to the same money habits and reward myself in the process because I've already been doing that. And so I can keep doing that as well. And it's not the one size fits all approach, as you said. It has to be something that, because you're so clear on what true happiness is for you, because you're clear on the things that you value, that you prioritize, then we work from there on what the financial system that would work for you, that you'd be excited to stick to. I remember you said that, and I'm like, I'm actually excited to save now. Like, I love that. I'm like, yes, if saving is not exciting you, then there's something that needs to change. If it's not exciting, you're not gonna do it all the time or do it consistently anymore. And thank you for sharing that. If they want a tailor fit system, then I would love to help. And that's why I love that I was able to help you with that. So tell the people watching, like, what would you tell someone who's considering and investing with working with me?
As you know, I'm a mom, and moms have a lot of responsibilities, including finances, especially if you're a freelancer mom. You have a lot of, hopes and dreams for your family as well as for yourself. And I would say this, like, I know a lot of freelancers who have 6, 7 digits already, but then they don't have savings. They just enjoy their money without truly being happy. And those are their goals. They're different from mine. But I would tell you that investing in Nick is something that you should do for you and your family. Honestly, what I got from this program is miles away from what I was expecting. Because I just wanted a system from her. Period. That's the only thing that I wanted. But then she gave me more. I can't truly explain to everyone like the process of getting here. And I also can't believe it was just in 2 months. Like the transformation I see in me now, like how I handle my finances, it was deeper. If I can work with Nick for forever, I would. If it's not, time constraint, I would. But then, as a mom, you juggle a lot of things. And if you have those problems, like for me, like if you lost your client or you're navigating life as a mom, even though you're not a first time mom, your responsibilities just piles on and on. The more kids that you have, it doesn't get easier. I understand. That's why I'm sticking with one. But I would probably say that, being in Nick's program, jumping in, it's not an expense. It is an investment in yourself. If you are, ready to get your finances in check, even though you are earning 5 digits, 6 digits, 7 digits, she will work with you to create a financial system for you, tailored for you and your lifestyle and your family. Then jump into her program. Second, if you are going through life and you're like, oh my goodness, I have so much money. I don't know what to do with it. That was me also. But then when I did coaching with Nick and then I thought about our program, what would it be like if I was single, if I was earning all this money and I don't know what to do with it? You fit right in as well. Because she will help you get your goals, get there faster with your income, and, plan for your life because, you won't always have abundance in clients. But when you do lose your clients, like how I did, you would be prepared for it. You're not going to be settling for less because you have your emergency fund, your travel fund, and your happiness fund in check. So, for me, no matter what it is, like the phase in my life, whatever I am going through, I know that the system that Nick created with me will sustain me. So another thing is that if you feel lost with your finances, even with your business, she was able to help me with all of that. I didn't imagine that we would talk about business like with my clients. I only thought that we would be speaking finances. Like, okay, it's just finances. But then we dug deep. We even went back to my childhood. And those are the things that change my mindset. Those are the things that change my limiting beliefs for me. And now, even though I'm one less client, I know that I'll be able to get to my goals because it's not the end for me. Like the opportunities are open for me. And those are like the mindset that I need to have because again, I was holding onto this 5-year client for so long. I was years debating if I should let this client go or not. I was so desperate for this client. But when Nick opened my eyes into why I shouldn't be and that there are opportunities that are there for me, she helped me. Even though I can't tell you enough about the motivational quotes that I was reading, the times that I communicated my issues with this client with my husband. I'm not saying that my husband is bad at communicating this with me, but this I know that it would take more than conversations. It's really the mindset shift that happened to me. And when I did let this client go, I confidently said that Nick, you were right. You were right all along. And I just needed to find my timing when letting this client go. I know from the start that she was right, but then I have to go through the process of heartbreaks, because this client meant so much to me, but I didn't mean that much to them. And she was like, I knew it from the start. I knew you were so much better. And there are clients waiting there for you. So again, if you are looking for an investment, Nick is not an expense. She's an investment. And this is something that I continue to share with my friends, with my family, like, hey, I invested in myself. And this is what happened. So again, it's an investment, not an expense, in the sense of if I didn't get out of the rut of shopping for diamonds, I know that I would be in debt now. Because let me just give you a context. I pulled out some of my investments in order to purchase diamonds. I did. And looking back now, I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that? But I know for sure that because I went through Nick's program, I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's not because she threatened me. It's not because I don't have the money. I have the money. It's just that I'm focusing that money into something that would truly make me happy. Not just me, but also my family.
Yes. I love it. Yes, 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 yes. Like that's a clear example of like how you handle your finances really impacts your life, whether we like it or not. Like I think that's the reason why that we touched on different aspects of your life. We touched on your family, we touched on your business, we touched on the things that make you happy because those are things that becomes your compass in order to handle your finances in a way that is aligned with what makes you happy. And like when it comes to the letting go of the client, the reason why I knew that she needed to let go of that because all I am is just a mirror. I tell Sam that I'm just a mirror. I'm just reflecting back to you what I see, how you look at me, how you tell me, how you share with me, how you feel, and I sense that you're not happy. So why am I gonna let you stay in that? Why am I gonna let you settle for that? And that's the reason why I knew that eventually she would come at her own pace and she already realized it. It was just a matter of like when she's gonna pull the plug. And that's what I love about coaching is that I get to hold that safe space. A safe space for you to be like not only talk about what you struggle with, but really understand what's the root of that and how you're going to take the right course of action so that you can overcome those roadblocks, those limiting beliefs that are no longer serving you. And so I appreciate you so much for being so open, vulnerable, and transparent with your journey. Like, truly, it is such a pleasure having been part of your journey. Words cannot express of how proud I am seeing how far you've come and how far you're still gonna go because there's just so much more opportunities ahead of you now that you know your worth, now that you know where your true happiness lies, and of course that you have the right system in place to back you up as well. So thank you so much, Sam, for being here.
Thank you also, Nick, for everything that you taught me, everything that we went through. Like, I didn't know that I'm gonna be here if it wasn't for you. Like, I tell Nick over and over, like, he's the best investment that I did in my life because like I know that I'm gonna be in a sad place if like we weren't able to uncover all of that. Sorry, it's gonna go to YouTube, but all that shit. Because it was because I'm 31 and you can't imagine the baggage that I was carrying all those times. Like I was so scared to spend. I was so scared to invest before I told Nick about this. And now it's from uncovering like from parents, from generational stuff, from my childhood. We were able to uncover all of that. And this is like the result. Like I didn't even thought about how big the impact was from my childhood to shape who am I into adulthood. And that is something that I'm thankful for. I'm really thankful for because I'm a mom. So it's something that I don't want my child to experience. I keep on telling Nick that I'm scared because I'm a mom and I don't want her to experience that kind of thing and mold her into adulthood like me because it was really traumatic. And, it might not reflect on a day to day life, but the mind is so powerful. Like, it goes way beyond our understanding. And when we are able to uncover it, like, what? That's where it came from. Like, those are the effects of being in childhood, like all those things. And when I think about that, I'm scared for my daughter. Like, what am I leaving her? What kind of legacy, what kind of lessons am I implanting in her mind? And my mission, like I told Nick about this, my mission is to give the best experiences for my daughter. My goals, it's not about even physical things anymore. It's all about experience, and Nick knows about this. And giving the best for my child. And again, if you're a mom, even though you have one, two, three, if you have 20 kids, this is something that you can't find with anybody. This lesson, this mindset shift, you can't just find it anywhere else. Like you need to have it tailor fit for you and your goals. And that's what I got from it. It's my story is not as dramatic as others. It's not. But the psyche, my mindset, it's something that really changed. Aside from the system, again, like what Nick said, if your mindset is not in check, all the systems, the best systems in the world, from the best gurus that you can find worldwide, it won't work for you if you can't solve your mindset. So that was like the biggest impact for me. And that's something that would also translate to my child. And it's a big thing for me because it's generational. And the generational trauma that I experienced, it stops with me. And I'm building a new one.
Yes, the generational trauma stops with me. And I just know that because you have broken that pattern, your daughter's looking up to you. Your daughter's looking up to you because you're now the role model that she wants. And I have no doubt that you are. You already are. The fact that you're here sharing your journey, I'm just so proud. So,
I'm gonna cry.
okay. Some
This is
makes me cry also.
Yeah, this is a running joke between the both of us because every time that we see each other, there should be tears. Tears are never absent in any of our sessions.
Okay, kailangan talaga lagi may ending, may tears. But yeah, thank you so much, Sam. And I know that you're inspiring so many moms, freelancers, business owners right now in this video. And I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you around. I'll see you soon. I'll see you wherever. We always catch up on Instagram also. So
Yeah.
I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll see you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.